Hey everyone, this is Andrew Southworth from Massachusetts, and this is lesson 2 of Introduction to Music Production at Coursera.org. Now in this video I'm going to talk to you about a lot of the main editing features of Logic Express. A lot of these can be applied to different kind of DAWs, it just, they'll be a little different, but obviously specifically since I have Logic, I'm going to be covering Logic Express in this video. So the first thing I'm going to cover is just going to be trimming, separating, merging, all that stuff. So let's say I have this audio file here, which is just a song I've been working on, and I'm not sure how easy it will be for you to hear, so I'm just going to try to talk through everything. But let's say I have this file, and now let's say I want to shorten it because I don't want to hear the drums or something. So I go in here, and what I can do is I can just drag it into this file and bring it down to wherever I want. So let's just say right here, for the hell of it. Now, this audio file here, it's represented by an audio file that's stored in my folder somewhere, under the same name, of course. And when I change the trim of the file, it's not changing the audio file, it's just changing the representation in the DAW of the audio file. So when I trim it, it's not destroying the file, it's just shortening what I can see of it in this program. And a lot of these things are exactly the same way, aside from deleting something completely from your system. A lot of the stuff you do here won't actually change the audio file. And so that's trimming in a nutshell. Now if I want to separate something, now let's say I want to cut off the end of this because I don't want to trim it. I just go here, now I can either right click, and somewhere in here there'll be a cut feature, but what I usually do is I go up to here and do split by playhead, and then that will separate the file from that section. Now you can also go up to here and set your tool as a scissors tool, and then you hold down the command feature and click there, and then it'll cut there. That's what I used to use, but now I like to keep my tool on the fade tool because I use it a lot, and it just becomes very cumbersome to have to keep. I think you can right click to do fades or something, but I always do the command feature, and then so it just makes it so when I hold down my command feature, or command key, it activates this, and then I can do a little crossfade edit there. And now let's say I deleted this fade, just right click, remove fade. And if it was like a different audio file, so I'll just make this longer and connect it. This will probably sound weird. But aside from just jumping to a random point in the song, there's a little click there. Now it will be no click if you can hear this. But it'll still sound weird, obviously, because I don't have everything synced to the correct tempo of this song. I distracted it. So there's no click anymore, it's just that it's a weird jump. But that's how you do crossfade edit, so it'll smooth out the region so there's less of an abrupt just as it transitions into the next section. So let's say I wanted to merge this back together to make it one audio file. Again, I don't remember where I cut it, I think it was there, but I could put the crossfade edit in there, wherever I want to connect. Maybe you don't want a crossfade edit, but I do. So I'll highlight both of these, and then you right click and you just click merge. And then it'll ask you if you want to create a new audio file. This just means that it's going to erase these two, or maybe not erase, but it'll get rid of these two separate audio files in your DAW and make one continuous audio file in the same place. And it bounces it in place. This is just showing you the picture on the thing. It takes a little while to load, at least for me. And so that's just going to go through and do that itself. Now the next feature I'm going to talk to you is the grid. I always keep mine on smart grid. You can also turn it off or do these other things to whatever is convenient for you. I always keep it on smart. Now, depending on your DAW or what version of Logic you have may have a thing where you can just change the grid with a hotkey. I looked it up and I don't. So what I usually do if I want to move this by more than the usual amount is that I'll zoom in, and eventually it gets so zoomed in where it won't actually snap to the grid. Now, if you need more fine-tuning, you just keep zooming in, and it's a smooth moving around right there. And that also brings me to my next thing, and that if you want to zoom in, you can just click this playhead and move up and down, and that'll zoom, or you can go down here and zoom, or you can also zoom the vertical part to make the things thicker. And I usually keep it pretty small. The last two things I'm going to cover are going to be cycle markers and naming. So naming, obviously, you just double click here, and you just say song, whatever, and then everything you record in this file will be named under that track. You should always do that before recording. And then if you want to do a color, you just go up to here into view, new colors, and then you can make it so everything in there is colored. It makes it easier to see. And you can also cycle things, so if you want to loop a cycle thing like that, usually you would have everything to the correct tempo of the song, so everything would come up very evenly and it would repeat the same part over and over again, which is very convenient, especially when you want to record the same part over and over and over again. And then finally, we have this thing called markers that you can use. Now you just create them, and it creates a little way to organize your song. So I could do, let's say that's the verse, and here the chorus comes. I can do create, use double click, chorus, go over here, double click, verse. Alright, so I hope this helped you with some of the basic editing features of this. So we covered trim, we covered fading, we covered merging, we covered colors, we covered markers, we covered naming, zooming, cycling, and the grid. So things may differ in your DAW. I hope everything's clear enough here, though. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave me a comment. And yep, thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.